In the world of agriculture, AGRAME Dubai is a truly remarkable platform, and it was a key step in our journey. Through this platform, we connected with industry leaders, fellow visionaries, and all those who share our passion and beliefs.
Climate smart agriculture. What is it really? It's basically harmony with nature, right? That's what we want. And we can imagine what it's like if we are perfectly climate smart, maybe sitting on by a lake somewhere in a tree, drinking a herbal drink, sun when we want it, some clouds when too much sun, some rain. It's nice to imagine things like that. And that's what really we are thinking about climate smart agriculture, that life is nice and comfortable. So let's explore this a little bit, all right? Not too much, but what really is climate? We know climate to be the atmosphere, the weather, the rain, the hail. That is what we understand to be climate. But what about the climate in the vicinity of the farm? Close to the farm, in and around the farm. What about the climate that is right in the vicinity of the plant, the microclimate? But what about the climate inside the plant? Don't you think there's a climate there? There's a climate inside the plant, there's a climate inside us, just like that, right? Now I ask you, what about the climate inside the soil? Isn't there a climate inside the soil? There's billions of life forms under the soil, more than what's on top. There's air, there's water, and soil, which is the solid particles. So definitely there's a climate down there, which we are directly affecting. Now, all of these cows, they produce amazing milk for all of us, and they eat a ton of fodder, right? They eat so much fodder. All of that requires land, all of that requires soil. And all of this soil and land, even for the cows, it's all managed by us. And how do we manage it? Chemical X to really charge up the roots, chemical Y to dial in the shoots, chemical Z to really boost the yields, right? That's what we want, like just make it grow, boost everything up. And we eat all of this produce, which is essentially
This was a unique opportunity for us to exchange knowledge, explore innovative solutions, and expand our network to foster partnerships that will boost our growth and success in the industry.
So, now when we talk about, we have to work quite hard to get to the good stuff, isn't it? Even today, unless and until you are well off and you are working hard and you are in there, then you get all this good stuff. You know what's going on and you get access to this good stuff, right? Now, do you think this brinjal is good? Brinjal, eggplant, aubergine, whatever you want to call it. Looks nice, right? Fresh, off the farm. Now, we went to this farm on our travels, when we were doing our research, and we came across this. All of this is earmarked to be dumped. It is going straight to the dump yard. Why, you ask me? Because the amount of money you would get for selling this in the market is much less than the amount of money it would cost to take it to the market. It's that expensive. So you just dump it. Right? So for each one of us, any of us who's eating one eggplant, we have to grow 50 to 100 of them so that one of them comes to us, and then we put it in the fridge for 3 days, forget about it, and throw it in the garbage. So what are we doing? Are we smart yet? Is it really smart? What do you think? What is smart? So let's move on to what climate smart agriculture really wants us to do. What are we going to achieve over here? What do you think is the real impact of climate smart agriculture? So that our children can go out in the rain and play, so that they don't have to worry about the forever chemicals in the rain, so that they can drink from the rivers, so that they don't have to worry about the AQI index every time they are stepping out, that they should go out or not, so that they can pluck a fruit at a farm without having to ask, has this been sprayed yet? So that we can go out into a food forest, not a food desert, right? So we at Mahameru, understand this. We believe that nature is the solution. We want to look at the soil, want to specifically look at the carbon in the soil. You know, that is where the solution is. Nature, the solution is in itself. Now, what is the most fundamental building block of life? It's carbon, right? We are all carbon-based life forms. Now, in the hands of a chef, a knife makes yummy food, but in the hands of the wrong person, it can do damage. And that is exactly what carbon is. If you know about it, if you use it right, you can really change things. There is 9.4 billion metric tons of carbon being released into the atmosphere. But there is 3,000 billion metric tons in the soil. And because of soil degradation, deforestation, I mean, you all know that. I don't have to sit here and lecture you on this. You know what's going on. Can you imagine that all of that carbon in the soil is slowly being released? Right now, we are feeling the effect of only half of our emissions. Why? Because nature is bailing us out. It's trying to do its job to the maximum. It's absorbing that carbon, putting it in the ground, but we are still emitting more. So, imagine what will happen if we feel the effects of all our emissions. So, you know, I don't want to scare you, but it is a problem, but there are solutions. People have been working on this. There are many things that we can do. You know, there are things that scientists are doing. There are things that we all are doing. Now, one of them is suberin. Now, suberin is a molecule that is very stable. It is more stable than the sugars that the plant likes to make. It is much more stable than that. And it is made up of hundreds of carbon atoms and a few oxygen atoms in there. This molecule is made by the roots of the plants. So the roots of the plants make this, they bury it in the soil, and it's very difficult to convert it back into atmospheric carbon. It's amazing. The plants are making the solution. And we are looking everywhere else for the solution. Here is the solution. This is one of them. You know, this is how the plants work. So all we need to do is three simple things for this. We need to incentivize the plant to make suberin more. We need to make sure that we can help the plants have deeper roots. And we need to make sure that the roots are spread wide, that they are branched, that they are well developed, and they are healthy. Automatically, the carbon will be captured, it will be put in the soil, your soil will become fertile, you don't need to add chemical fertilizers. And in this way, in a cycle that feeds itself, we solve the problem of climate smart agriculture. Now, when you add to the soil, now you say, okay, this is going to take time and the crops to grow and the soil to become fertile, but there's more ways. You can rejuvenate the soil simply by introducing clays and minerals that are missing from the soil over there. And once these are in there, they are able to form strong bonds. These minerals are able to form bonds with the carbon that are so strong that the microbes can't even decompose them. And that is another one of the solutions. So you're able to increase the capacity of the soil to hold on to the carbon. That is key. You need to increase the capacity of the soil to hold on to it. Aren't we doing carbon capture everywhere? Isn't that what we're trying to do? So it's simple. You increase the capacity of the soil. There's your carbon capture device right there. You know, and there are some great initiatives that people are doing, you know, that really take a lot of heart. For example, the 4 per thousand, you know, increase 0.4% carbon content in the soil every year. And this is something simple, right? All we have to do is increase the carbon content in the soil. Simple. There's so many solutions for it, so many initiatives. And of course, how can we not talk about Satguru? He was here last year. He wrote 30,000 kilometers. They created 192 policy documents for each country specifically to manage the soil. So all of these things are being done. There's great initiatives, there's great people. All we have to do is connect and collaborate. I know a few things. You know something that I don't. All we have to do is connect, collaborate, and use nature. Work with nature. That's all we have to do. That is the future of climate smart. It's carbon. It's the management of carbon. There's so many ways to do it. So, from all of us here at Mahameru Innovations, we at Mahameru honestly believe that nature has a solution. You know, and all we need to do is give it a helping hand. You know, we have all evolved very fast. Nature, to get to this point, nature took its time to evolve, right? We got to this point, and suddenly we are able to evolve very fast, super fast. So of course nature can't keep up. So do you not think that instead of giving up on nature, all we have to do is give it a little help along, help it adapt to us, to our conditions, to our changing conditions and our changing world and our innovation and progress? You know, all we have to do is go hand in hand with nature. The carbon crisis is a stepping stone, I believe. It is something that is forcing us to look very closely at what we can provide. Now, I told you we'll come back to this. Better life for all, leaving no one behind. When we say better life for all, leaving no one behind, it does not mean only us and these people in the room. You know, there are 800 million people going hungry according to the UN every year. And yet, we throw away more food than we are eating. You know, there's like 50 people here maybe. So who's hungry out of here? Because 1 in 10 of us is hungry, right? So, when we say leave no one behind, means don't leave nature behind either. Don't leave any life on earth behind. Why should we leave them behind? We all evolve together, we all work with each other. There's so many synergies between us. It's a simple thing, a simple idea. And to achieve this, this is the ethos of Maha. To achieve this, we have fundamental solutions for growth, such that that little sapling popping out of the ground receives nothing but natural and organic stuff. It's all possible, it's all available. And our solutions work with any native environment. We can work with any environment. It's just nature. Why should we harm nature? We should work with it, understand what's going on at a deep level, and then use it that way. And once you support a wider variety of crops, you get more input into the soil that makes it even healthier. It's a self-feeding cycle. You know, we support all sorts of work, whether it's agriculture, whether it's animals, whether it's fisheries, whether it's golf courses, it doesn't matter. If you're growing something, if you're growing anywhere, we're there to solve the problem. It's not about selling products, it's about solving the problem. All of this is so that it allows the children to be free in nature. And all we have to do is something very simple. Empower nature, blossom life. And that's it. That's all we have to do.
Thank you all for being an integral part of our process. Our collective efforts are creating a brighter, more sustainable future, and it's a story that we are all writing one chapter at a time. We believe that our collaborative action is key to addressing the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. By working together, we can drive meaningful change and make a lasting impact. Let's continue to push boundaries, challenge the status quo, and pave the way for a better tomorrow.